Let's go. Let's go. City Hood Click. Let's go. Professor Melly Mill, the Hood Postman. You know the vibe. We are back. How you guys doing? Shout out to Marlena Williams. Shout out to Johnny Sullivan. Shout out to Jeb. Shout out to Lawrence. Man, how you guys are doing today? It is Wisdom Wednesday. And like always, we come to share the wisdom, impart peace and happiness with the people, and just share in the good times, right? How you guys doing today? I hope can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me okay. Solid, right? MP, what's good, man? How are you today? Hopefully everything is going well. As for me, I'm excellent. I'm feeling amazing, inspired by all the encouragement I get from you guys, which is, it just, man, it's spellbinding for me, you know. Yeah, smash that like button on the way in. Death row. Shout out to my guy Paco from 21st Street. Insane. Ran into him this morning, man. I got to shout him out, man. It was old dark 30 this morning when I ran into Paco and he recognized me. I was at the Flying J. No, not the Flying J. I was actually, yeah, it was the Flying J over there in Harupa Valley in Harupa, and we chopped it up for a moment, but he was from that 21st Street. So let's get to the wisdom, right? Damu Kiwe. You cannot enslave a mind that know itself, that value itself, that understand, overstand, and understand itself. It's just impossible to enslave that mind because that mind is well served, it's knowledgeable, and it's building. It looks to build up in the community. It looks to inspire. It looks to also give good parts of what our culture is to others. You know what I mean? It builds on that, you know. So, but what I want to talk about today, there's a number of things I want to talk about, but I'm going to start the talk. I got to get this in. And this is most important. Shout out to Marcus. Nihilism, right? A lot of us are probably not familiar. This word might be a little bit out of your circle of awareness, of circle of knowledge, but I want you to look it up. Nihism, nihilism, exactly how it's pronounced. It is the belief that all values are baseless, that nothing can be known or communicated. It is often associated with extreme pessimism, radical skepticism, and it condemns the existence. A true nihilist would believe in nothing and have no loyalties and no purpose other than perhaps the impulse to destroy. That's where we at in this day and time. That's the time we living in right now. There's nothing new under the sun, but sorry, you guys, I lost you for a minute. I think the wind is blowing.
and I guess maybe it shook up the Wi-Fi for a moment. But shout out to everybody in the chat room, and of course I shouted out Paco. So
It's story time, right? Let's tell a story. And this story evolved around 1981. 1981, right? In 1981, I myself were attending Compton Junior College, trying to get my information up, trying to reposition myself for something bigger and better, right? But what happened is that when I got my what is it called, Pell Grant? Remember they was used to get a Pell Grants out back then, right? So around this particular time, I had met this young lady, of course, and I'm not going to get into all that. I'm just going to tell the story. But anyway, moving forward, she introduced me to her sister, and her sister in turn introduced me to a cat named Frank Nitty. Frank Nitty and his brother Pimpin' Tone. They were both out from the west side of Compton, around the Fruit Town area, and they had a spot over there on Cherry. They had inherited the spot from a guy named Pumpkin. And it was a well known, trap house as we call it today, but you guys know what it was. It was Spot, right? And so being that I grew up over in the town and I knew most everybody over there, so I felt quite comfortable going over there because I actually went to school with Rasta. I was reintroduced back to Rasta, Zine, and a couple other cats like Jeff, you know what I mean? So we had a really good thing going over there on Cherry Street. But anyway, as the story carries on, right? So one particular day, I'm sitting in the house, and me, Pipitone, Frank Nitty, and we hear the doors, bam, 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 bam. The doors are slamming, brakes out front, right? So sure enough, and it's Compton PD. They coming. They are coming. So by this time, I had figured out the escape route because I knew what we were doing. We running a pharmaceutical without license, right? Shout out to OG Steve for that chat. We running a pharmaceutical without license, so I had the fire escape to where it was attached to the next yard where we could just step on the fence and we'd be in the next yard. By the way, the next yard belonged to this cat named BB. It was BB from Fruit Town. He had a brother named Clyde, and they had two sisters named Joyce and Frankie. And their mom was a nice lady. I can't remember her name, but she was deaf. She was deaf. She spoke with sign languages, right? So we went through their yard, came out while the police was at the front door, trying to get in, right? So meanwhile, we take off, right, and come back. So the next day, me being the person I am, I'm like, I really got to have this money because you got to understand this spot was grossing anywhere, and no exaggeration, 20 to 30, sometime and more a day, racks. So it's really going. And the guy that owned the property was a guy named Ty, and Ty worked at that time at Todd's Shipyard. So we make it through that situation. So I come back the next day, right? I get the locks rekeyed, bam, back open for business, doing our thing, right? So again, I'm in the house, right? And Ty up front, but Ty was he was a little radical. He would do things that was not like that was off the script. If you in this type of life, you know what I mean. When I say off the script, he got people running in and out of his spot, you know what I mean? And he don't really know who is who and all this stuff. So he would always have a bunch of girls over there, you know what I mean? But meanwhile, all the town guys would come and kick it, you know what I mean? Harvey Bernard, Derek Burks and PC Cuban them, they would be out there, but they, trying to peak gang, learn their way through this, you know what I mean? And figure out how they gonna approach the game of life. You know what I mean? No problems there. Everybody was cool. So this particular time, I'm in the spot. I hear Ty say, Melvin. He called my whole name. But the way he said my name was unusual, right? So once again, I go out the spot, I come down the side, and I come up, I'm creeping up, right? And I come up to the side when I peer in the window through the little blinds, and I look in there, man, there's some dude with a Columbo coat. Got everybody in the house just naked. Got Ty, his brother, a girl named Rita, a girl named Coltrane, and this girl named Lorna. But Lorna got the bag, and I hear the guy tell her, give it up, give it up, give it up. He call her a B and all this stuff. So he slapped her with the pistol. So I'm witnessing all this. In my mind, I'm thinking like, what I'm gonna do on this circumstance? How can I help him? Right? Because I got that Billy Western on my side. Make no mistakes about it. Billy Western right there. I got that cannon, that baby cannon right there. That goddamn it. So after the guy, he doing all this. So finally, Lorna give him what he wants, right? After he get him on, I guess he had a stash or whatever. So by this time, I say, I'm gonna run up to the front and meet this guy. By the time he come out, I'm gonna be right there with him, right? Man, I run up to the front, and by the time I run to the front, I run past the dude. I literally run past him. He running behind me, right? So that just show you how crazy it was. The dude, I stopped, and the dude ran past me, and I gave it to him. I gave it to him, right? And he hit the ground, but it was a car out there waiting, and I know right between Cherry and Oleander, right? Grab the dude, drug him in the thing, drug him in the vehicle, right? They spit off, but he dropped the bag. He dropped the bag, right? So I take the bag and tuck it. So by this time, Ty come running out. He come running out. Man, did you get my stuff? Man, no, sir. That is pay for my work, brother. That was pay for my work, man. So anyway, I wound up giving his stuff back, man. But it was just interesting how I always wind up helping these individuals that were just putting themselves in harm's way. You know what I mean? Because when you in this life, you got to be well prepared. You can't be leaning on it and pretending like the element or the people that used to seek to do you harm ain't in place and ain't plotting. So, but it don't stop there. No, it don't stop there. So we back at it, right? In there. So finally, I hear about this guy named Sam Fountain, Wolf, right? I don't know Wolf. I don't know Sam Fountain. One and the same, right? But I come to meet him, right? Once again, he comes knock on the door. At this time, me and a couple of cats, Frank Nitty, Pimpatone, Rasta, might have been there. I'm not for sure. So somebody said, man, that's Sam at the door. Man, I don't want to talk to him, man. I don't. So, but he knocking at the door like, like he really wants something. So I'm irritated. I go to the door, swing it open. Got Billy Western on my side. He peeks it. So, but all the time I'd heard about this dude being like a cold jacker. But at this time, I'm so engrossed in Doge and getting this money. My mind said, ain't nobody finna take nothing off over here. I don't care who it is. But long story short, man, me and him wound up sitting on that porch, chopping it up, come to find out I really liked the dude. Me and the dude, we kicked it. I wound up, I didn't even know him. I just gave him something, man, and you know what I mean? And he appreciated that, man. And from that point on, we became friends because I grew up, like I said, I grew up in the town, but I didn't know Sam Fountain. Right to this day, I know Sam Fountain, Kenny Fountain, the whole Fountain family. You know what I mean? I go over to the house over there, and I can't tell y'all where they live, but it's just amazing things how sometimes these things come full circle, bro. It's about building relationships. It's about establishing communication, and that's problem problem with our people. We don't communicate, and we don't. You know what I mean? We don't. We find that we have a great deal more in common than we knew not in common. So coming back to Ty.
Ty is very reckless. I tell Frank Nitty, Ty reckless, man. I tell Big Jeff, Ty reckless. Gotta do something, man. So nobody's really paying attention. So Ty, his brother Joe, they back at it again. But by this time, BB from next door used to come over there and kick it with me. BB from the town, him and his brother Clyde. And they had two sisters, Frankie and Joyce, and they had another friend that lived around the corner named Carla. Carla would come in, rest in peace, Carla, matter of fact. They would come around and kick it, because back that time, they was having that Buddha tie, and I kept plenty of that. I used to give it to them, whatever. So Ty and BB gets into it. So by this time, Pipitone done went up to YTS and pick up a guy named Pimpin' Nate and bring Pimpin' Nate over. They all go up to Marshall, get his hair done. Marshall used to be a spot right there on 42nd in Vermont where everybody with Cadillac Bob, let's see, some of the people, Fila Bob, and just a host of people used to go up there and get their hair done. That's when everybody was wearing them super flies back then. You know what I mean? Everybody thought they wanted to be fly guy and went along with the cocaine game and also the super fly thing. Everybody wanted that look, had that Lord Jesus hanging down, hanging and banging, all that, right? So anyway, BB tells me, he said, look, man, I can't tell you that. But anyway, so BB tells me, man, I'm jacking Ty. I said, BB, listen, man, don't do that, man. I said, man, listen, man, what you need, man? You need some money. No, man, I don't like that dude. I don't. And he used other words, but I'm just saying dude because, Professor Melly Mill don't use all that profane language and all that stuff. So he told me he don't like him, man. He real disdain and a dislike for Ty. So one night, me and Nate is in there. Me and Nate both, but Nate was fresh out, you know what I mean? He ready to get in some action. Matter of fact, he was from out of the Fort Trey neighborhood. So him and Pipitone them had met back in the day, and you know what I mean? So they became real friends. So we had a car, it hit the front house. Boom! Where Ty and them live. Somebody done grabbed the car and ran it into the house. So Nate, we come out, Nate get off. Pop, 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 pop. And by this time, whoever was driving the car is gone. So for real, Nate just wasted a whole bunch of bullets per se. At least that's what I'm thinking, right? Man, we get up, man, the next morning, man. Lonnie, one arm Lonnie, the man that lived across the street, man. Lonnie was a cold gangster, too. Real nice old man, but a gangster, right? Kept his Borsalino and, his suits on, and he kept a nice brand new broom. He got bullet holes in his car, man. I feel bad for him, you know what I mean? But on time, Lonnie a killer. I ain't trying to let Lonnie know that this bad, though, you know what I mean? So, but anyway. Lonnie figures it out. So, but anyway, long story short, I take care of Lonnie because I build up rapport with Lonnie. Once again, about building rapport, building relationship, getting to know the people that's around you. Because when you know the people around you, you can make moves or things can happen, and it can be negotiated, it can be worked out. And this is what our people seem to don't understand, man. We don't grind. We pick up the phone. We pick up the phone or we communicate. So I communicate with Lonnie, get him okay, take care of his car and everything. So Nate is sitting there. Nate is ready to get into some more action. He just on fire, you know what I mean? Because he fresh, and this game that we in, it's really brand new. Because when you think about it, in essence, when I left from over my neighborhood, then nobody had that going on over there. You know what I'm saying? I learned the game outside and then took it back to where I was from and rose them up and taught them how to get out, you know what I mean, in a way that elevated and lifted the whole neighborhood, and you know what I mean. And when I got with Turtle and I got with Rick Carter, he didn't know nothing about it. I taught him the game. I taught Dog. I taught quite a few people, that game, and All of them was very successful. Turtle already knew it, but what I showed him was like he was impressed about what my knowledge was of it. But so coming back to the story, BB decides to take another shot at it. This time, he runs up in the house. They letting some of them girls out. Once again, Ty reckless with his how he opens his door and don't peek out and don't understand who's out there, who's not, who. BB runs up in the house. He runs up in the house, but unknown to BB, Joe was behind a door. He's behind a door, and some things transpired and things happened, and right to this day, they call the man Whispers, you know what I mean? Because what happened to him, he took one in the throat, and he was hurt behind that, you know what I mean? And took him a while to recover from that, you know what I mean? But it was his own, like he didn't plan it right, or he didn't initiate what he was trying to do right, just in my opinion. But I really like BB because, he was like a little homeboy to me, you know what I mean? I used to talk to him, talk to his sisters and everything. But anyway, he survived it and everything. And what happened because of that situation, what I should have did, and this was my fault right here. When all happened, me being hard headed and not really real spit, man. Right on, man. I really didn't feel like, because it happened in the front, I went to the back and stayed back there. Once again, Compton Dum Dums, F Troop showed up, raided, right? Bam. They get me, take me down. They take me. But before they could take me, I called Pipitone and threw everything in the car. Tone had everything. He had all the money, all whatever, right? All that's gone. You know what I mean? But trust me, I'm not speaking on something that has not been litigated, it has not been adjudicated. Everything I'm speaking on in this time. So anybody looks and twists what I'm saying, it's already been litigated in the court of law, and it has been adjudicated and has been ruled on. So therefore, if you don't like what I'm saying, go look it up for yourself, and you'll probably find it. But what happened? But anyway, and I'm not gonna be throwing nobody out there, and this stuff is not already public news, right? So anyway, what happens is that get down there, they find out I got warrants. Okay, so I'm thinking like, should I pay? Should I call somebody? So I said, nah, back to that time you do 2 or 3 days on some warrants, you be out. Keep your money, right? Man, I do that. What I do that for? Man, I come back and the whole spot is burned. But the good thing about it, right, my car's sitting in the driveway, man. I might have lost a few thousand in the house that probably got, man, I don't know if somebody found their money or not. But anyway, I couldn't worry about that. My car was sitting in the driveway. But that just to show you, once again, we build relationships, we establish ties, and we communicate. Nobody did not one thing to my car, because what happened is that they felt like they didn't really know the circumstances behind what had transpired, so they reacted emotionally. Instead of, you got to always intellectually respond before you emotionally react, and the spot get, burned or whatever. And because of Ty and his brother's action and their recklessness, which they caused themselves, because BB was really a good dude. He just didn't like, and I knew what it was, is because Ty was hollering at his sister, like, like a way he didn't really particularly like, you know what I mean? And then when dudes like that holler at people, me and sister, they really value that. They really value that. So you can't be one of them dudes that's be out there doing this and that, and then you dealing with your partner or next door neighbor, and they know what you about, and then next day, they see you trying to spit that same game to their sister. So that was bad on Ty. That was bad on him. You know what I mean? So he made that mistake, and it cost him. And everybody came back and went on to, live their life, and eventually went on and moved on. But at the same time, if it just had been just a little more communication, everybody could have saved themselves a whole lot of trouble. And just in my opinion. But I always loved the fruit towns. That's like my second home. It's rest in peace, Bubba Simon, Big Stanley Simon, Marvin Antoine, Darwin, the Palmertons, Lester, Bitter Dog, and Black Love, Corday and his brother, Mike Manning and stuff. We could go on, Monk, Strawberry, rest in peace, Momo. Shout out to Top Cat. I don't know Top Cat, but I know who he is. Shout out to the Bernards, knew them. Uh, Donnie, all the way to Debbie, to Joe and Harvey and his sister. Shout out to them. Shout out to Big Mad Dog, him and Daryl, Rodney and Daryl Smith. Bobby the Cubas, the Burts, all the way down from Ronnie Emmett, Melvin, Zena, you know, Derek, know them all. So I just, and I don't tell these stories in a way that could get anybody any type of difficulty. But what I do like to say about my stories is that my stories is about building relationship and also understanding that where you at, you got to, when you're in Rome, you got to do as Romans do. You can't just come over there and run stuff and be all out there willy nilly, you know what I mean? And in the performance of all that, I met Sam Fountain, which was Wolf. They called him the Wolf. Now I know why they called him the Wolf. You know what I mean? And good dude. We never had no problem. Ronald Mosley and Tim Mosley was over there. You know. So shout out to my boy Red Eye Rick, Fat Rick, Zap. All them cats over there. Just a host of it. And the Bellows, they've been there forever. Can't forget about them. The Aura Street Boys, and shout out to Mr. Pumpkin, who we actually inherit that spot on Cherry Street from. Shout out to Mr. Pumpkin, rest in peace. But anyway, I mean, it's just one of those things, man, and a lot of stuff transpired in the CPT that we wish we all can take back or get a redo on it, a retake. But we know that's not the reality of it. So yeah, the mail has been delivered, bro. You know, that's just the reality of it. And we try to, continue to grow and be better at what we do, as individuals, you know what I mean? Because like I talked about the nihilism, the belief that the values are baseless, that all values are baseless and that nothing can be known or communicated. That's absolutely, to me, that's absurd, and often associated with extreme pessimism and radical skepticism, is that where we at? Is that the ethnic identity of us? Or do we continue to not share these stories? Because here's the thing: history is medicine for a sick mind. Because within history, it gives you a variety of human experiences we could teach and learn from. Now, a lot of people probably don't particularly like how I tell some of these stories, but there's a lesson in my story. If you listen, you understand, because we don't wish history to repeat itself. We don't wish the history to repeat itself, and we wish that everybody have favorable outcomes, that everybody, enjoy their life. I don't want you to be happy. I want you to be amazing. Yeah. That's just my take on it. And I got just as much love for anybody over there as anywhere else, especially the ones that I build with. Shout out to my boy Don Juan. Shout out to Big Ducky and Dave Cox, Jackie Cox. I went to school with Wendell and Bobby and Big Stan and Bubba Simon, Emmett, Melvin Burts, Dory A. Wiseman, Marty. Went to school, Rodney Smith, Roger Haynes. Went right there to Rosecrans Elementary. That's even where I met Donald and Randy McQuiller. Rest in peace to both of them. Circumstances, cut their life off. You know what I mean? Based on
this thing we all like to call the gangbang, what is it really for? Remember the records say war. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. If we think about it, especially in a subculture, in an adapted culture that would like to demean and disfigure its people. People of the same color, same race, same background, same circumstances, and once again, it believes that nothing has no loyalties or no purpose other than perhaps the impulse to destroy. Is that where we going? Will we always be like that as a people? I don't know what you think. So anyway, I'm looking to take some questions now. You guys be prepared. Marcellus gave a really, really, really compelling story. Really, really small. Salute, Melly. Shout out to the Mailroom Nation and Mailroom Goons, please. Big West Side, yard up, Melly. What's up, yard love? Right on, Big West, man. I do not miss that, West. Man, when I should be at Turtle Island and they say yard recall, that was the worst feeling ever. That was the worst feeling ever. I'm telling you, bro. Yeah, no feeling worse than that. To hear that tone, yard recall. You don't never want to be in that circumstance right there. Yes, Marcellus gave I think about an hour. We talked about an hour, 2 hours, man. It's very extended. I gotta go in and just see how I'm gonna break it up. Is it gonna be 3 parts, 4 parts, 5 parts? Actually, it's enough to have like 6 parts. But I'm gonna let you guys make the call. Would you guys like 3 part 30-minute videos or 6 parts 15-minute videos? Yeah, it could be 3 part 30-minute videos or 6 part 15-minute videos. Oh, man, I think I gotta cut the air conditioner on, y'all. Can you guys still hear me okay? Oh, she said 6 part. Ooh wee. That's right, Marlena. Stand it out. Hold on just a second. Can you guys hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a shout. Vladimir's dad. Can you guys hear me okay? Shout out, shout out, shout out, shout out. Yeah, I gotta get used to not, interrupting myself by just, you know what I mean? Because I'd be so excited to see everybody in there. So I think I should relax sometime and just do that, like in the red section, like people, E-Money gave me some game on that. But yeah, I'm gonna take that up. Right on, man. So 6 part, 15 minutes. Okay, got you, got you. Yeah, we extend that thing out, man. I think that the information that we covered was very compelling, and it's something that the way he explained it is you going because we went from Watts, Compton, LA. We pretty much circled the whole spectrum. We talked about Raymond, talked about Tookie, talked about a host of other individuals, and it was really, I mean, all I can do is say part one tomorrow. stay tuned for that. You know, and I really came on here to tell you guys that story, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I gave it to you the best I could without being too over the top with it. You know what I mean? Like I say, these stories have already been, you know, what's a bee? Bee flew in the truck. I got to get him up out of here. So, any questions? Is there a lot of? Can you guys hear the engine roaring in the feed? I want to know that because I had to cut the engine on. It got quite hot in here, so I cut it on, cut the air conditioner on. Can you hear the engine in the truck? So, no questions today. You guys are quite quiet. What is it? What's all the quietness about? So again, Damu Kiwe cannot enslave a mind that know itself, that value itself. We need to get us a platform that know itself, that value itself, that understand, overstand, and understand itself. You can. It's impossible to understand that. Do you do drive local, out of town, or no? I'm a local person, and no, I don't hear the engine. Cool. Yeah, I didn't know if that was. I just I never even tried that out, but now that I know that you guys don't hear it, so now I can just roll with it. Keep the air blowing, keep the air conditioned, keep it calm, cool, and collected, right? So when you say we need a platform, like, give me an example. What are you talking about? Man, there was always stuff that always happened. Yeah, don't be afraid to super chat your questions, man. That I think that's because you guys don't know what I go through and how I prepare. Especially after I do a day's work. You know. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you. Yeah, I got you, Terrell. You know what? I really don't. I really don't save them, bro. I really don't because I'm not really attached to them like that. You know what I mean? They're for you guys. They're not my personal possessions or anything. But I know YouTube is not your friend and all that stuff. I understand that, but I can always make a video, bro. Always. There's just so much content out here. There's so much things to expound on. There's so many areas we can discuss. You know what I mean? Because I want to discuss what makes us behave the way we do. You know, is it really out of the mercurialism, the mercurial mindset, something that is unpredictable all of a sudden, that has severe mood swings, that is always like in attack mode, or is it that we were conditioned, socialized, and conditioned to be this way? You know, we can call it the point of view, right on. So we got to look at what is the is it menticide? Many different factors. Yeah, you're true. You're right. You're right. You're right. So point out a couple of them factors. Just give me a couple. Let's tackle that for a moment. You know what? I had some really, really powerful discussions today. I can't say who they were with because I haven't secured the individuals yet. But when you hear and see these individuals, you're gonna really be entertained by, or at least informed by, these individuals, because they're like, yeah, PTSD, right? They're like uh post traumatic, right? They're like first generation guys, you know. It's like a jungle to time and make you wonder how I keep from going under. True, true statement. That was like an all time classic, right? Broken glass everywhere. Egos. Man is ego driven, but man is also deceptive. That's why he's in repair. Man is in repair. You know, we have so much to to look forward to. That's a Grandmaster Melly Mel rhythm. Right, right, right. Various addictions. So, was those addictions on purpose, or did we just kind of, because anything could be an addiction. Drinking too much water can be an addiction. But some of the addictions I understand are more harmful than others, you know. Ah, listening to like a podcast, right on. Appreciate that. I think I could do a show, you know what I mean? I mean, if I had to, I could definitely do a podcast. I'm not alien to it, so to speak, you know. So our minds have been impregnated with indoctrinated with many of different things that just wasn't good for us or conducive to our culture or our way of life, based on, you know, Marlena Williams. Shout out to her. To where we can grow freely without feeling that we were being watched or being challenged or being, you know, harassed by police officers. There's so many things they have in place to try to keep us off our game. You know what I mean? And they all on purpose. You know, some things are a little more subtle, and then some things are just outright blatant. So the system that we live under is arcade and draconian system. It's just really played out, and I don't know where it's going, but it seems like it's coming to a. It has to come to a screeching halt at some point. The wheel is squeaking. They don't have no more oil to put in it. Yeah. What do you think was more detrimental to the original man, street tribes or religion? I would have to say religion, and the reason why, you can go pick up those religious books, and it just, to me, when I read them, I read death in them. There's a lot of death in them. People seem to overlook that part, to how much death is in the actual books. You know, all empire dies. Yes, that's true. You know, but men, you know what I mean? Men is kind of designed, you know, men conquer other men and men conquer other lands. That seemed to be happening since the beginning of time, even with if you believe in the story of Cain and Abel and all that stuff that happened. You know what I mean? Why did he slay his own brother? You know what I mean? And something is just in us, I guess, as far as the tribal thing goes. But are we in a modern age to where we should be better? Yeah, I think so. I think with all the modern technology and advancements, we have advanced in this world more in the last 50 years than we did in the last 4,000 years. Capitalism is about having and have nots, classism, racism, are the keys and factors of this. Who created it though? Bang that like button. Who you think, Asiatic Supreme, who you think put that system in place? And what was its purpose? Is it serving its purpose? Have technology pushed us forward or regressed us? Well, I'm a firm believer in science, biology, chemistry, mathematics, and physics. Firm believer in those. I actually graduated, y'all. So, you know what I mean? I think when I tell people that, they look at me kind of funny, like, like, so what? But it was interesting during my time. There's so many people that I attended school and went to school with, you know what I mean? I actually used to kind of like hide the fact that I was actually doing the work, in school, to uh to make that happen, you know what I mean? Oh, okay. Ah, look at that. I don't know what you got going on, Tonka Poker, but this is not the place for that, okay? Appreciate you though. Appreciate you. That's all I can tell you. I don't know, I don't know why people would get on the internet and try to say some outlandish things and look for you to actually respond. The buffoonery, the buffoonery is at an all-time high, and they want you to react. See, there's another one, right? That's what they do. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't get it. Yes, that wasn't that strange? You know what I mean? Could you imagine being a kid, right? Anything for attention, right? And you go to school, right? You go to school because what a lot of people don't know that a lot of these gangs were created in school, and that's a fact. And the reason why they was created in school is because when I went to school, right, I had to ride the bus, right? I had to ride the bus. So Hood Folk man has wow, these guys are really just on it, right? Blocker. But that's just people trying to get me to react to their small way of thinking or their naivete or their ignorance. See, because some people lack phraseology, they lack style, they act, they don't have the grace, nor do they have impulse control. So they are speaking in those terms and in a way to try to get you to respond to the buffoonery. But I don't have nothing to say. Yeah, see that and I'm quite sure that my man, he don't have nothing to do with that. Nothing. Nothing to do with that. You know. Yeah, you can't respond. Yeah, if they want me to respond, buy a super chat. Yeah, that's right, you money. You want me to respond, buy a super chat. Then I can respond. See, then it's worth it, right? Good vibes here. Stay under the bridge, troll. Yeah, there you go. It's amazing how they come in, you know what I mean, and do that, you know what I mean? And I'm sure my man Loco has absolutely nothing to do with that. I'm positive of that. Yeah, yeah, and he has nothing to do with that. But back to what I was saying. So when I was going to school, right, when I stepped off the bus, I didn't even realize I was a Crip. This is 1971, 72, right? Going to Whaley, right? Before I even embraced it. Yeah, that's right, bro. Oh, I will get you to respond. Nah, you can't get me to respond, champ. Have a good day, though. I appreciate you, though. So when I was going to school and I stepped off the bus, right, they all would look at me. Soon I felt like they was treating me like I was a different, I was an alien. I was something different. You know what I mean? People that I had formerly knew, and I don't think they knew how to react based on peer pressure. I think it was peer pressure. So one day I'm coming to school, and the guy, his name was Joseph Fitz. He said, "Man, you ride the bus. You must be a Crip." I say, "Hmm. So that's what you think, huh? Okay." So at this point, I was like, not really moved or really tripping on what he was saying or anything. So I was thinking like, okay, what's the next play? You know what I mean? So showing up, I'll come back the next day to school, right? Go into my class, go to reading, math, science, mathematics, all that stuff. I run to the guy again. This at lunchtime. Right on. I appreciate you, CB. So I'm at lunchtime, right? We go to snack bar, grab a cheeseburger. We get a cheeseburger, some Lawrence Scudder's barbecue potato chips, fruit punch, all this stuff, right? So I'm trying to enjoy my lunch and figure out how I'm, continue to keep my grades up and continue to, pass on. And because the objective is to go to all your classes, learn what you learn, and make it to the next level, right? At this time, I was a seventh grade. I was in the seventh grade, but the guys that was usually saying something, they were usually like in the upper grades or something. But this guy was like he was in my class, right? And he really shot out to he really like was antagonizing me, man. So one day he got up the nerve to swing on me. Right plan. Matter of fact, he might have had the right string, but he had the wrong yo-yo. See, he had the wrong yo-yo. See, he might have had the right plan. I'm gonna give him that, but he had the wrong yo-yo. So when he swung, he left himself open. And by this time, I had been taking jujitsu and all this different stuff, close quarters fighting and all this stuff. It was a guy named his name was Robert Banks. Robert Banks was a SLA member, Similese Liberation Army. He was a revolutionary. He taught me many things. He taught me how to box. He taught me how to wrestle. He taught me judo. He taught me a lot of different things, which I'm been fortunate enough not to have to use it a heck of a lot, but sometimes it was necessary. This is about me, right? I never did anything to somebody that didn't have it coming. Because when you start understanding karma, you understand that what you put out will come back. No doubt. Hands down. So anyway, he left himself open. I hit him, bam, bam, bam. And he trying to get his jacket off, right? He had like a windbreaker or something on, man. And I grabbed the windbreaker and pulled it over his head, man. I jacked him up like a bumper jack on the back of a car. I jacked him up. I whooped on him, man. So anyway, we had it. Cynthia probably remember this guy. His name was Mr. Christian. Mr. Christian used to walk around with his great big old huge giant paddle. And he had holes in the paddle. And if he swats you, yeah, on the right track with the wrong train. If he swats you, he would write your name on that paddle, right? And he looked on the paddle, he didn't see my name on it. But by this time, he got me in the office. So when I get to the office, I jacked Joseph up. He told me that he ain't never seen nobody use that type of tactics. And where did I learn that? where I learned that type of discipline from. You know, I mean, that's what he was interested in, and he was, you know, really try to swap me. And I looked at him and told him I didn't bat an eye. I didn't hesitate. I said, "Listen, Mr. Christian, no disrespect, sir, but I do have parents. I have a mother and a father, and if you think you're gonna hit me with that paddle, I think you should call my parents." This is what I told him. So he got Stanley Pitts in there. I don't know what Stanley had did Weighty Warriors there. I don't know what Stanley was doing in there. So, but what made me really like convince this dude that this dude was serious business is when I heard him squat Stanley. Once I heard that, I was not finna go through that. Whatever that was, I was not going through that. So yeah, he called my mother, and my mother came up there, came up to the school, and then yeah, Frog said Mr. Blender's on it. My mother came up to school and had a long talk with Mr. Christian, and Mr. Christian told my mom that if I was going to continue at Whaley, I better not get in no more altercations, nor that he may not see that type of fighting or me give somebody that type of beating. And I wasn't no bad person. A lot of people probably in that school I couldn't whoop, but I knew I wasn't gonna let that guy beat me up. I knew that much, you know. MMA stand for Melly Male Active. Yeah. So that was just one situation, and I had another situation. A guy, right? Give us a pudding story, man. Cynthia's in there. Cynthia got all the pudding stories. Cynthia got all the pudding stories. There's a lot of pudding stories, man. But pudding actually, man, for whatever reason, took a swing at me, man. He took a swing at me, but like I did, man. My dad told me a good stand be the bad run. Man, I took off, man. I wasn't gonna let that man Puddin' and Herman Jr., Willie T, and all them dudes back there. Nah, it was at a Compton High Dominguez game. And I was on the Compton side. I went to Dominguez. Yeah, but those older guys, they didn't know me, just the young guys that went to the school, they knew who I was or whatever. They didn't trip or nothing like that, man. But the older guys, man, they wouldn't have it. They'll beat your butt. Yeah, Putin took a swab at it, but when he took the swing, was nothing there but air, air and opportunity. The opportunity was me going the other direction. Yeah, Putin wasn't to be played with, bro. You know what I mean? He was an older guy. He was serious about that life. You know what I mean? Sugar Bear. Of course, that's my homie, man. We went to the fairs together, man. Uh, yeah, yeah. So this is what I guess this is what it comes down to. You know what I mean? Some people just go out try to try to purposely ruin yours or whatever. Tar babies. Yeah. T-Top, Cross Atlantic. Those guys were after me, bro. By the time they came around, I pretty much was, you know, before they even thought about it, I was already done with it. Let me put it that way. The park was the headquarters, Nudist Park, and then everything else branched out from that. The Fruit Towns was the Fruit Towns. On the West Side was the West Side, and there was Compton Bishops, and there was Linwood Compton Bounty Hunters, and then there was Washington Street over there with Shamrock Dam. I don't know what year, but it came back after, definitely after. Yeah, yeah, there you go. They definitely came out. Shout out to the Mailroom Nation Mailroom. They definitely came out after the fall of the bishops. I think some of the bishops, like Herm Dog, and them, they became uh, Limehood Piru, I believe. I'm not for sure. Don't quote me on that. So, but a lot of the bishops just either they went away or some of them became Blood. I mean, a couple of them might even became Crips. I don't know. But that's my opinion. Not that I can, give you any facts on that. But I knew Butchie and Johnny Ziegler, Swan, Bitter Dog. I actually knew the guy from his name was Michael Roseborough. We call him Blue Boy. He lived in my neighborhood. He's actually one that started the Compton Bishops, and he came from Nine Deuce Bishop over there with Cloudy Clay, Space Ghost, um, and Jimmy Lavender, Bobby Lavender, and all that. Shout out to Devon Cutmore, appreciate it. So yeah, so I think, man, some of the real dope was Squid. Then when they was That Is Boys, and you know, and and they became That Is Brims. You know what I mean? Because the Brims was kicking up a lot of dust in the early '70s and '60s. They were doing their thing. It was Ducky Hood, a '70s game, or it was a '70s game. No, Ducky Hood. You say? Nah, I don't know. See, I think Ducky might have came out right around '79, '80. I'm not for sure, bro. Don't quote me on it. Don't quote me on it. I knew they came out after the bishops were gone. E Money talking to you, Mike Bars. Any more questions? He said, yeah, he back channeling. Any more questions in regards to the thing we know as gang banging? Was San Fernando ever active? I'm sure they were, bro. In their own way. They had the OBG boys, the OBGs, and uh, PP Koima Paru, two peas and a biscuit. You know, can't take you can't take nothing from nobody when it comes to that, man, because everybody was capable of committing an overt act. It don't matter the numbers, it don't matter the name, it don't matter the geographical location. None of that really matters. What matters is what's in here, the heart. It's the heart. You got to spoon feed this content. Tribalism, gift or curse. Well, you know how I feel about that. It takes a village to raise a child, but a child that isn't embraced by the village will burn it down to feel it's worn. And that's where we at today. That's why we see where, guys are inner neighborhood banging on each other, or they banging against the dudes that just right across the street. Yeah, San Fernando is part of Los Angeles County, bro. Los Angeles County run all the way up to Antelope Valley. I don't think I don't think they still got any more Willow Streets, but I think they lasted a pretty good while. Yeah, that's it. That's what they do. That's how they ran it too. I thought it was Pomona, Pomona, Palmdale, no, Pomona, Pacoima, Pomona, and Pasadena. That's what it was, Asiatic. That's originally what it was. I don't know how Palmdale got in there, but I remember the guy that came from. He was actually from Coima, Peru. He started with Bop in Palmdale. He was gunned down, unfortunately. I can't remember his name, but maybe you remember his name. Marlena, did you see all them trolls in there? I don't know where them people came from. Coima, yeah. Pomona. Yeah, the 456. Yep. UK in the house? United Kingdom. Shout out to the United Kingdom. Shout out. That's where the guys came from British Broadcasting, yeah? Right on, Marlene. I appreciate you. The British Broadcasting that came over here that did the documentary when Turtle, myself, Twin, Rat, Scrunchy, Primo Pete, Big Bus, Dirty Montana, and Rick. I think it was 9 of us in that original photo. I can't find that photo nowhere without the faces being painted. We actually had the photo, right? We blew it up to the big old poster, but OSS came in and raided us one time and took all the photos. Yeah, nah, don't sleep on that part of the valley, bro. Anything is we pay TV license for that channel, right? Oh yeah, really? Yeah, they came over, man, and did a documentary. Piru is I don't know, Lake Piru. They got Lake Piru. They got the Street Piru. I don't know the origins of Piru, but I know there's a Lake Piru up there past in Ventura County. The double barrel was vicious. Total talking about that double barrel, man. It's a madman's gun. This is a madman's gun. Yeah, Devon, you think you guys did? That's interesting. Say, Melly Mel, don't think they don't. They know what SOS is. Yeah, Operation Safe Street. That's what it was. Operation Safe Street. I miss Nip, man. I had the LA authenticity, right? I actually sent a guy over there in Scotland, right? He hounded fire starter. See, there you go. That's interesting. Interesting. And there used to be a guy from Peru named Fire. His name was Juan Anderson. Fire. He rest in peace now. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to go do some more research on that. Thank you for that. Appreciate it, Ulrich. Yeah. I miss Nip, man. He was an art. Yeah, yeah. Nip was a man, man. But I sent a guy over there. He's from Scotland. I sent him a majestic hat, man. He was on me for that. So I got with Twin, and I was able to get him a majestic hat, man. He treat that thing like he enshrined it, man. It's a shrine now. He got it encased and all that stuff. Yeah, TQ made us want to be from Compton. Uh, so why did they make you want to be from Compton? Too pretty kitty? Oh, is that what you're saying? Oh, saying West Side. Okay, got you. Awesome. Yeah, that was when he was showing the M1 carbine with the banana clip. Back then we had Thompsons too. We had a lot of stuff. You know, a lot of stuff. Oh, it was original Good Kid, Mad City. Okay, got you. Okay, I like Kendrick Lamar too. I think he's a phenomenal artist. Just found out that Dre had 11 kids, and they say he ain't really taking care of none of them. That's interesting. I don't know how he got away with that. What is the most gangbangish story you think you guys have ever heard, or what is something that you think that was just outlandish coming from a gang perspective that you just like, wow, I can't believe he did that. Too Pretty Kenny said Putin played Russian roulette on him. Yeah, that's possible. You know what I mean? Because Putin was a man. Putin was a demon. He's demonic. He was demonic, affected you. People like you have the real history on politics and know how to move through. Yeah, you gotta know how. You know what I mean? It's just about giving everybody their respect, everybody their space. You know what I mean? And it's not walking around with that fist face like you walking around like really those people dip their hand, right? Craig Munson, Craig Munson, Craig Munson just was a big old dude to lift iron, man. But Craig Munson like guys, bro. I don't know what to make of all that. He was a lot of muscle, but he liked men. So what do you do with somebody? I mean, Russian roulette was a hell of a game. You know, I ain't taking nothing from Craig because I was actually in West Side with Craig, and he's a big old cat. You know what I mean? And we was finna get into it with some people. You know what I mean? And Craig stepped up too, so I can't take nothing from him. I just don't get the liking men part. Yeah, yeah, you didn't know that, huh? I mean, I guess that's who he is. You know what I mean? Who am I to judge it? I ain't judging it. I'm just telling you what it is. So, do you really believe that Monster Cody? I think he put a stretch on that, bro. I really do. Yeah, Big Evil from Family Swan. He's still on death row. Then you got the man, great. You got like let's see, it's a CJ from Great. He went on one too. Then you got let's see, I know who Man Power is. Renee McGowan's nephew. Yeah, he's a good dude, man. Want to get that bag. But I was gonna tell you one time. So another story, right? So I'm coming up Willow, and like I told you, Robert Banks from the Seminole Liberation Army had taught me how to fight in close quarters. Basically, showed me break down the rifles and different stuff and how to clean them and you know what I mean? Because he was, I mean, just let's be honest, man. A lot of guys was looking for young revolutionaries, and if they could turn us in that direction, that's what they did. Because I'm talking about, I met Robert in 1969, 70, 71, somewhere in there, so they were at that time the revolutionary movement was looking for new recruits and new people to fill the shoes of the old brothers or the brothers that had been chicken swoop for Long Beach. Yeah, he's an animal. I actually spoke with him on the phone. But anyway, so they was looking for people, to fill that void. So he taught me a lot. And there was this guy, I can't even remember his name. But anyway, I underestimated this guy, man. I underestimated. And my cousin Sugar Bear was with me. Well, Sugar Bear, man, I ran up on him and I did a spinning kick on him. Bam! I caught him in one, but he kind of sidestepped. I kind of went to the side and he caught me. Bam! Sent me down. Right? I jumped up, but he gave me it all. You know what I mean? I didn't win that one. Honestly, I didn't win that one because the move I did on him, it should have sent him. It should have put him on his back pocket. Should have put him on his wallet, but it didn't. So you can't never underestimate another man's strength or the way he would respond to. See, because that was one of the moments, like I told you, when you go out your way to attack people and you initiate. Sometimes things you thinking it's gonna go one way, but it can go a whole nother way. And that's what happened in that particular, you know what I mean? But you win some and you lose some, but you live to fight another day, right? Just like we kept moving, right? The trolls are gone. The trolls are not in here. They're not saying, you know what I mean? They got tired because we wasn't acknowledging them, right? Shout out to Demon. We got to get back in Vegas, Demon. Demon got to get those guys over there. There's a lot of guys still in Demon that have a lot of history over there. A lot of history. So it's a rich and fertile ground for that Vegas history over there, man. So we got to get back over there and crack into it. But anyway, it's been great. I appreciate all you guys. Trolls get no play here. That's right, Western Ave. How you been, Western Ave? OG Smiley. I went to school with Smiley. I went to school with Smiley. My homie Yogi Bear, rest in peace, got into it with Smiley. And Yo did pretty good with Smiley, you know what I mean? Smiley was a big old tall dude, though, them Robinsons. But anyway, Smiley was, I went to school with him, but to see him in school and think about what happened to him later on and how he wound up incarceration for all them years and become that person that, you know, the guy that, that get after boys and, you know, he like that man sex, and he don't necessarily like he take it, bro. From what I understand. That's right, Western Ave. And he got into some things, and I guess the system, corrupted him. His judgment became clouded, and he started, praying. He even prayed on his own people, you know, other bloods. So I think they had to eventually lock him away. Yeah. Oh yeah, he was that. He was every bit of that. He had no shame with it, Marlena. Yeah, rest in peace, Tookie. He had no shame with that. That man was every bit of that. You like boy sex. I don't know how another man can like that, but okay. Whatever, bro. But anyway, I'm Professor Melly Mail, the Hood Postman. We give no trolls on this platform. We give them no air, no room. We don't even acknowledge them. So we got a group of wonderful moderators, people that moderate and get rid of these people that come into to try to be a disruption or distraction to what we got going. And I just want to give you guys some of the greatest content. I want to give you guys. I got a lot of stories, But a lot of these stories, I be having to figure out a way to tell them. Because some of these stories would possibly get people in trouble, you know? So you got to stay away from those stories. I got a lot of stories, though. And, I got baby gangster stories, you know what I mean? But that's his story. I'm going to let him tell his stories because he got his channel. That's my loved one. So now that he got his platform, he can tell his stories. Twin, as twin, you know what I mean? And just a host of others. My homie Jack Off Sleep, Sleep Hudson, Kizzy, J Dog, Big Pep, SAG, of course, the H&H, rest in peace. Hub, rest in peace. T-Bone, light skinned T-Bone, black T-Bone. Snoop, rest in peace. Killer Raider, rest in peace. And don't think that all these people, when I say rest in peace, that they died from gang violence. Some of these people died from natural causes, heart attacks, drinking too much, or, just numerous of things, diabetes. When Big J Dog passed, 2 days after he passed, his sister passed. So we had to do a double funeral. And both of them are scrunchies. My homie Scrunchy, you better watch out. Yes, indeed. Those are his brother and his sister. So imagine what him and his other sister, Vicky, what they went through, what they had to endure. They lose J Dog, and 2 days later they lose his sister Thumble. And man, we wind up having to do a double funeral. The homegirl Shabo was not too long after that. That's the homegirl I had with the picture with the holding the shotgun. She got the riot pup in her hand, Shabo. Yeah. So yeah, we got a lot of people, you know what I mean, that I saw, grew up with, hung out with, are no longer here. I don't even know my homie JB, Johnny Briscoe. I haven't seen him in years. My homeboy Sleep, Jack Off Sleep. I ain't seen him in forever. I talked to him on the phone, but he's incarcerated. I would love to talk about him, but I can't because of his circumstance. If he got out, then I could talk about it. If he overcame that situation, I would love to talk about him. Taterhead Paul, I can't talk about him because of his circumstance. So Taterhead Paul grew up right down the street from me. I watched him as a little kid. Knew his daddy Bonnie, and his other and all his uncles. All of them was on swole. You know, light skinned. All of them looked like Jamel. Looked like they could have been brothers with Jamel. BGF cats. That was Big Henry, Indian, and all them. Sonny Brook. You know. Yeah, Marlena, you gotta lock the screen door too sometime, because we keep getting these trolls in here. Somebody lock the screen door. But anyway, nonetheless, we'll be back at it Friday. Was Tookie good homie deep down? Yeah, Tookie was a good homie, bro. Tookie was actually a very intelligent man. He was he just put down that demonstration, man. When you saw him or you was around him, see, you got me talking again. You would you would definitely wouldn't mind patting or using him as a template on how to be a crip. That's how most of us did in my generation. We used Tookie as the template because he was the standard bearer, as so to speak. You know what I mean? Of course, Mac Thomas, but Tookie, man, Tookie actually, and of course Raymond as well. But Tookie actually was right there in my neighborhood. You understand? So I saw him daily. He actually used to be when we used to go to the Pine Terrace across the street from the Red House, they had a swimming pool over there. So Tookie used to like to test his strength. He would like be like, put us like this in and shot put us into the swimming pool. That big Tookie was. I talked to Little Cross not too long ago. Bobby, he's in there, not Gregory Cross, that's Big Cross, but Little Cross. So all them was Little Cross, Weasel, Shotgun, Limpy, let's see, Tiny Man, Sleepy, all of them was in the red house. I have no idea who he is. Yeah, I have no idea who. I heard the name before, but I never met him, bro. I never met Cappuccino. I know Nino Cappuccino from Bounty Hunters. He's been on the show actually. Yeah, 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 definitely, definitely. Anytime you got good people, man, good people, they can come from anywhere, man. But you guys be sure to press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and all that. You know what I mean? It's only about we increase it and increase the channel, make me inspire me to come up and tell bigger and better stories, and sometimes because I got to find a way to articulate it to where it's not harmful or it disrupts anybody's life. Because trust me, these dudes be watching, man. Sometimes I get calls, "Hey, man, why did you tell that?" Hey, man, this story, this is adjudicated. It's in the court of law. So I don't know. If it's in the books, bro, it's nothing to be concerned about. It's already been litigated, right? It's already been litigated. But anyway, nonetheless, click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below. So when this dope content hit, it'll feel like it's the first and the 15th, and the mail is in the box. Marlena Williams, shout out to you. Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to Eddie Cream, of course, and Matthew and Mr. Temple 100. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out. Shout out to Mike Mars, E Money, of course, Monique. Devon Cutmore, Key Mike Mars, Yeshua, of course, Nick, Kick. Yeah, so whatever, man. I appreciate you guys. Marlena Williams, please, this time when you lock the door, make sure you lock the screen door too. And we are gone. Peace.